Hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss about free radical addition reactions. Okay, what is meant by a free radical addition reaction means addition reactions in which a free radical is involved in rate determining step. I have already mentioned if in a non-considered reaction, right, in rate determining step, if electrophile is involved, that is electrophilic addition reaction. If nucleophile is involved, nucleophilic addition reaction. If free radical is involved, that is free radical addition reaction. Now in the addition reaction in the rate determining step, right, free radical is involved, that's what it is. What is that? Free radical addition reaction. Generally it is a non-considered reaction. Non-considered reaction means what? Takes place with more than one single step. Intermediate is present, right? What is the intermediate here? Intermediate is going to be carbon free radical. That's what it is. Free radical addition reactions, right? It takes place with heat or light. We have already mentioned in the bond cleavage, right? If you didn't see, I'll leave you the particular video in the cards. Just go through it. Okay. Bond cleavage, right? We have two kinds of bond cleavage. One is homolysis, heterolysis. Homolysis generates the free radicals, which takes place with heat or light, right? Yeah. In this reaction, right, alkenes and alkynes will undergo free radical addition reaction. Generally, we can't expect any kind of rearrangement like carbocation, right? In the electrophilic addition reactions, we have seen in certain conditions we have seen the carbocation rearrangement. In certain conditions, we have seen ring contraction. We have also seen ring expansion. Also, we have seen, right? Those kind of expansion and contraction won't take place in this case, right? Now let us see a particular reaction. We have a alkene over there with HBr, and we have a peroxide in the presence of light we are taking, right? Now why we need to take the peroxide over there? I have already mentioned in the previous video where in a bond cleavage video that this particular homolytic cleavage takes place with the symmetrical reagent, right? Since HBr is not a symmetrical reagent, right, to initiate the reaction, right, we need a symmetrical reagent. That's what we are taking peroxide over there, right? Yeah. When HBr homolytic cleavage takes place, what happens? Hydrogen radical and bromine radical formation takes place. After formation, what happens over there? We'll get two kinds of reactions, right? What is this? This bromine go to this particular position or this particular position. Let me write, this is the A, this is the B. When bromine comes at the central one, right? CH3, CH. Here what? Br is there. And CH2H, right? Let me write the another product also. What is that? CH2, CH, CH2, right? What do we have here? Here hydrogen and bromine, right? Now out of these two, which is going to be the major one, right? That is our question. I'll simply tell you this is the major one. Okay, in electrophilic substitution reaction, what we have discussed that negative part of the reagent at the carbon which has less number of hydrogen is going to be the most stable one, right? But when it comes to this one, right, which free radical addition reaction, it is going to be reverse, right? According to which rule we have discussed over there? According to Markovnikov rule, we have discussed the bromine at the carbon which has less number of hydrogens, right? But it is reverse of that one. That's what it is going to be the anti-Markovnikov rule, right? Before going to discuss this particular thing, right, let us see the mechanism, how the reaction is going to be, right? Let us see the mechanism. Okay, reaction takes place with three major steps, right? The first step of the reaction is going to be chain initiation. Okay, in all the cases, right, whatever reactions we have discussed, in the first step, the generation of that respective electrophile or nucleophile or free radical takes place. Similarly, here also in chain initiation, what happens is that formation of free radical takes place. What happens here? Formation of free radicals. Okay, how this one takes place? Let us see. Let us take the peroxide over there, which is symmetrical reagent. In the presence of H nu, what happens? Homolytic cleavage takes place. Homolytic cleavage takes place. When homolytic cleavage takes place, what happens? We'll get the free radicals 2RO free radical. Correct? This is the free radical is generated, right? Yeah. After generation of free radical, RO reacts with HBr. What happens here? This particular free radical attacks the hydrogen over there, and bromine comes out as what is this? Bromine radical. What is this one? Bromine radical. Let me write it over here. ROH plus Br dot. This is the bromine radical, right? The first step it is generated, right? Let me take the second step over there. First step is what? Chain initiation. Second step is chain propagation. It propagates, means addition of bromine takes place and generation of another free radical takes place. Okay, it's a propagation reaction. Let me write it over here. CH3 CH double bond CH2 with what? Br radical, right? Br radical. Now this reaction may takes place either way, means bromine may attack at the first carbon or bromine also may attack at the second position, the second carbon, right? Let me write it over here how this one takes place. What kind of this one will be generated. Let me write, this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the second one over there. First one is attacking at the first carbon, right? Let me write over there. CH3 CH single bond CH2 Br. First bromine radical is added to the first carbon, right? Then what happens at the second carbon? At the second carbon generation of free radical takes place, right? Because here also bond cleavage takes place, something like this, right? After that, if bromine radical is going to attack at the second position, right? What happens here? We'll get a kind of structure like this. CH3 CH Br and CH2 free radical, right here. This is the free radical. Now the question is that what is the intermediate here? The intermediate is carbon free radical. This is the carbon free radical and this is the carbon free radical, right? In organic reaction, right, if stability of the intermediate increases, right, rate of the reaction increases and the major product is going to be the product which is coming through the stable intermediate, right? Now we have primary free radical, we have secondary free radical. Which free radical is more stable? Secondary free radical is more stable than that of first one, right? That's what, this is more stable. In the stable intermediate, right, where the bromine is attached to the carbon which has more number of hydrogen, right, comparatively with the next one. That is why it is going to be the opposite to that of Markovnikov rule. That's what this kind of rule, this particular rule is known as anti-Markovnikov rule. Let us see the third step here. Third step in the reaction. What is the third step? In the first step, what is that? Free radical is generated. In the second step, addition taking place and generation of free radical is also taking place again and again, right? At a certain point of the time, reaction has to be stopped, right? In chain termination step, it is going to be stopped. Chain termination step. In chain termination, what happens here? Let me write it over there. What do we have? Let us take the stable intermediate where it is formed, the secondary intermediate, right? CH free radical and CH2 Br. Okay, and what do we have here? We have HBr, right? HBr, right? What happens is that from the HBr, it abstracts the hydrogen over there. The free radical abstracts the hydrogen over there. When it abstracts, what happens over there? What we'll get? We'll get a kind of structure, something like this: CH3, CH, H, and CH2 and Br. One thing we have to observe: the product is not similar to the Markovnikov product. It is against Markovnikov product. That's why we have a rule called anti-Markovnikov rule. Anti-Markovnikov rule. Okay, let me write what is meant by anti-Markovnikov rule over here. Okay, let me write the anti-Markovnikov rule. Anti-Markovnikov rule. This is taking place with the peroxide, right? That's what this is also known as peroxide effect. Peroxide effect. Okay, this is invented introduced by the scientist, right, named Karash. That's what it is also known as Karash effect. Karash effect. Okay, what happens in this case? What is meant by Markovnikov rule earlier, which we have discussed, which I mentioned. In the Markovnikov rule, right, addition of the, or else what we can say, the negative part of the reagent is going to attack with what? The carbon with less number of hydrogen, right? But here, the bromine free radical, the negative part of the reagent is going to add what? To the carbon which has more number of hydrogen. That is what the opposite to that of Markovnikov rule, right? That's what we are calling it as anti-Markovnikov rule. Let me write it over here. In this rule, bromine free radical, okay, or else let me write it over there. Bromine free radical, okay, what we can say, always bonded in this particular reaction, right, is connected or bonded with carbon with more number of hydrogens. Okay, in the above case, let us see here, let us observe over there. In the first step, what do we have? We have a carbon with one hydrogen, we have a carbon with two hydrogens, right? Which carbon has more number of hydrogens? The second one has more number of hydrogens, right? That's what bromine is attacking to the carbon which has more number of hydrogens. That's why this particular product is major one. Bromine with the carbon with more number of hydrogens, right? That's why this is going to be the major one in this one. Okay, that's what we are calling it as. It is opposite to that of Markovnikov rule. That's what we are calling it as anti-Markovnikov rule. We are using peroxide for the generation of free radical. That's what it is, the peroxide effect. And by the name of scientist, what we have named it is Karash effect, right? Yeah, that is about this one. Now, in Karash, in this particular free radical addition reaction, right, always HBr only will be used for the free radical addition reaction. Why only this one is used means, let me give you a thermodynamical data for the these kind of reactions, right? Let me take what happens in the first step. Addition of halogen free radical takes place, right, to the double bond halogen free radical. What happens with the second step? In the second step, what happens? Addition of hydrogen takes place. Right, from the HX. We have two steps here, right? We have two steps over here. Okay, let me take with the comparison with all the hydrogen halides over there. Let me take HF. Let me take HCl. Let me take HBr. Let me take HI. Okay, let us take the thermodynamical data of the reaction, or else what is the delta H of the reaction? Delta H of the reaction with each reagent. Okay, generally in the first step, what is happening? Addition of halogen is taking place, right? Almost like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, right? All these are delta H is going to be negative, means what we call in general spontaneous, right? Yeah, but only iodine is going to be the positive one, right? In the case of when the addition of this one takes place, right, what is this hydrogen, right, in the second step, right? Addition of hydrogen in the case of when fluorine is attached is going to be the positive, delta H is positive, this is also positive, right? But when bromine is attached and iodine is attached, right, in the second step, right, in the case of hydrogen addition step, right, it is going to be the negative one. Now if you compare all this thermodynamic data, right, one thing we have to remember when it comes to HBr, right, addition of both step is in the both this step, delta H is going to be the negative one, means exothermic, means becoming more stable, right? That's what only most of the cases, right, most probably will be seeing HBr in the free radical addition reactions. Okay, that's the reason why only we will be seeing HBr in the free radical addition reactions. Now let us take some of the examples over here. Let us take an alkene over here plus HBr with peroxide in the presence of sunlight, right? What happens here? Anti-Markovnikov addition takes place. We will get the product of something like this. Bromine goes to the carbon which has more number of carbon, right? Now let us take HCl also. HCl, the same reagent. Okay, would we expect these kind of products over there? Okay, it is absolutely wrong. Why it is wrong means, why it is wrong in the sense, with HCl we can't see the anti-Markovnikov rule or Karash effect or peroxide effect, right? It won't generate the the reaction won't favor for the free radical addition reaction. We should only go with the HBr over there. That's what normal free radical addition takes place. Chlorine will goes to the carbon with less number of hydrogens, which comes under Markovnikov rule, right? Now let us take another example over here. HBr, okay, R2O2, but I am taking at 20 degrees Celsius. What I mentioned earlier, to generate free radicals, right, it has to take place under lighting condition or thermal condition. Under extremely low conditions, low temperatures, what happens? There is no possibility of generation of free radical, right? That's what happens. General free, electrophilic addition reaction takes place, something like this. We can't see the free radical addition reactions, right? These are all the normal things which we have to remember. Let us see one or two examples over here. One or two examples. H nu, right? Now here what happens? Bromine will goes to the carbon which has more number of hydrogen, right? Comparatively with the second one, this has more number of hydrogen. That's what bromine will go to over there, right? Generally in electrophilic addition reactions, what we have discussed, carbocation generated at this particular position, there is a possibility of shifting of hydride shift, methyl shift, all those things we have discussed, right? But it is a free radical addition reaction. We can't expect those kind of rearrangements over here. That is why bromine will come here, right? Let me write another one also. We have double bond over there and HBr with same kind of reagents. Okay, what we expect at this particular in electrophilic addition reaction, bromine has come, right? Because carbocation is more stable over there. But here it's an anti-Markovnikov rule. That's what bromine will come to the carbon which has more number of hydrogens over there. That's what this product is going to be, something like this. Okay, that is how the free radical addition reaction takes place, right? One thing we have to remember, what are the conditions are required for the free radical addition reactions, and why we are using the peroxide over there, and why only HBr, and how the reaction takes place, all those things, right? We have discussed all those things here. If you have any doubts about Markovnikov rule, you can refer the video. I am leaving this video in the cards. That is addition of HBr to the alkenes. In this video, I have explained all this, Markovnikov rule, how the Markovnikov rule is applied in those cases, right? What are the limitations for the Markovnikov rule also explain. Okay, these are all about addition reactions. Thank you for watching and please do subscribe.